All right, guys. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Millionaire Manners Money Monday. So, of course, this is call number 4. Some of you guys who are on the call right now have already been listening and joining in with the calls now for 4 straight weeks now. So it's utterly amazing, again, just how momentum sort of works and how everything happens, okay? So tonight is Monday, March the 16th, okay? And this is 8 to 8:30 p.m. every week. Same time, same bat channel, okay? Where we cover a variety of topics. So this is Millionaire Manners Money Monday. And tonight we're going to be talking about self-worth. Self-worth, one of the most important topics really that any of us can ever talk about. And it's so important for us to have a success in life, is that you can never do anything if you don't feel good about yourself and if you don't believe in yourself. So that's really what we're going to be talking about tonight. So we're also going to be talking about, again, along with self-worth, how much are you worth to you? And do you give yourself enough credit? So we're going to be covering 5 ways for you to not just say that you love yourself, but for you to be able to prove it. So really, really fun topic, But if you guys don't know me already, I'm Sadiq. I'm Sadiq Ali. So I'm a speaker, I'm a trainer, I'm the author of Millionaire Manners. I'm a book all about personal and professional etiquette, of course, and I'm the founder of Millionaire Manners Academy. But again, most importantly, as I say every single week, if no one has told you before, right, I believe in everybody on this call. And again, and if somebody invited you to this call, they believe in you as well. And the most important thing, along with all of that belief, is for us to believe in ourselves. But again, the good news is that there's always somebody around that's going to push you and encourage you to do the right thing. So that's what this call is all about, okay? So, yeah, that's the good news, right? So this weekend I wanted to share something really quickly before we get into the meat of the call, right? So this weekend, one of my sons, he said, "Hey, Dad, why is your call called Money Monday? You know, I haven't heard you really talk about money yet." And I said, "Son, great point. And I know there's some folks who have, either asked me questions throughout the week or have wondered the similar thing. Why are they called Money Monday? Well, money is actually an acronym, and we haven't revealed the true meaning yet for the acronym of money. So, yes, it has to do with the green stuff that folds, some of which jingles, right? But we're not just talking about the money that you can spend. We're also talking about the personality of money, right, and an attitude of money. Those different things roll into why we call it Money Mondays, okay? So eventually we are going to be covering some topics related to finances and doing better things with your money, allowing your money to work for you and saving money, etc. But money is an acronym, and the first letter, some of you guys may have guessed it, but it stands also for manners. It can also stand for motivation. And a ton of other words, okay, that we're going to get into as time goes on. But I want to let you guys know that it is called Money Mondays for a reason. And, again, the true nature of the money will be revealed over the next several weeks, I promise, okay? One of the other key things that I wanted to point out to everyone that's listening, okay, is the fact that I want everybody to either, if you have your success journal out or a pen and paper, I want you guys to just write this following number at the top of your piece of paper, and then remember this number because I'm going to always refer back to it, okay? The number is 168. The number is 168, and some of you guys already know what that number means, okay? The number 168 represents the number of hours in each and every week that we have at our disposal. 168 hours every single week that we have to do what we want with it. Some of it's spent sleeping, some of it's spent watching TV, some of it's spent at school or at work, etc. But this 30 minutes, I hope, is becoming sacred to you guys because this is the 30 minutes that is all about you. And again, that's a segue right into the topic in terms of self-worth. This 30 minutes is all about you and what you do to invest in yourself, each and every week. Okay, so last week we talked about unplugging, right? Getting away from our electronic devices and some of those things in order for us to get better, okay? It has to be done, and it has to be done consistently in order for success to become, again, not just something to be achieved, right? But for success to become a habit, right? That is something that we do over and over and over again. It has to start with us doing those same things and doing part of what it takes every single day, and in this case, every single week. So 30 minutes every single week, at least, being spent on you in order to get better, okay? So I want everybody to just think about that for a little bit. Marinate on that 168, okay? Each week we also cover the ground rules, so I'll cover those really quickly. I just made reference to it a second ago, but I encourage everyone, if you're able, if you're not driving. I know some of my guys have told me, hey, we have practice that's over right at 8, so we're usually driving at the time of the call. Hey, no problem. But if you're able to, I encourage everyone to take notes. And, again, to take the note when I say something that makes a little bit of sense, or maybe even write it down when it doesn't make any sense at all and you want to ask me a question about it later, because sometimes I say stuff that doesn't make sense, and I admit that readily, okay? But take some notes where it makes sense and then share that bit of information that made a little bit of sense to you. And when I mean share it with somebody that you love or have respect for, and do it as soon as you can. Tonight if you can. But if not, bare minimum, don't wait any longer than 48 hours. So somewhere in between 1 and 48 hours, share what you learned on this call, and then immediately you yourself start doing it, okay? Each call, well, we also have a quote of the call, so we're going to get to that in a second. And then lastly, again, my objective is to always make these calls interactive, right? So, again, at the end of the call, we're going to take some questions and comments. You guys can send those to us via Instagram, so that's at Millionaire Manners on Instagram. We're also on Twitter at MLLNRE Manners on Twitter. Then, of course, Facebook, we're Millionaire Manners on Facebook. And, again, if you guys don't use any of those or rather shoot me a text, here's my number, too. So you guys take down my number. It's 443-271-3604. And you guys can shoot me a text anytime, too, if you want to ask me a question. And remain anonymous. You can do that, too, at any time, okay? So the last thing that I wanted to note for you guys, and then we're going to get into it, is that each and every week, okay, if you guys didn't realize it, right, the calls are actually being recorded. So each week, the calls are being archived and saved and posted on our website, which is millionaire-manners.com/Money Mondays. So if you missed a call or you want to re-listen to something that we said throughout the course of the call, you guys can listen anytime on the website, or you can actually dial back in to a special number. And that special number is 712-775-7029. The original number is 31, but the dial-in number is 7029, and then the meeting ID stays the same, and then the reference ID number is the number of the call that you want to listen to, okay? So let's get started, guys. Get out your journal. And we got some pretty cool quotes right here. So we actually have 2 short quotes for tonight on the topic of self-worth. Here's quote number 1, guys. You cannot be lonely if you like the person you're alone with. I'll say that one more time. You cannot be lonely if you like the person you're alone with. And that means us, of course, right? That was said by Wayne Dyer. The next quote, guys, is never forget that once upon a time, in an unguarded moment, you recognize yourself as a friend. Never forget that once upon a time, in an unguarded moment, you recognize yourself as a friend. So let's talk about it, guys. So 5 things that you can do for you. 5 things that you can do for you to show that you value you more, okay? Because what they say, right? Talk is cheap. So this is how you prove it to yourself, is through doing more of these 5 following things, okay? And you guys are going to hear some of which we've already heard over the first couple of weeks. That's because there's overlap when it comes to success and loving ourselves. There's so much overlap in things that you've heard before but didn't really make sense, et cetera, okay? So the first thing I want you guys to do more of is read more. Number 1 is read more to show yourself that you value you more, okay? Now check this out, guys. There's only 2 scientific ways proven for you to get better. There's only 2 scientifically proven ways for you to get better and to get better than you are today. That's either A, hang around different people who are going to stretch you, who are going to take you different places and or challenge you, or 2, read different books, more books, strange books, scary books, books that you've never heard of, okay? That's the only way for you to grow scientifically, is to hang around different people or places or to read different books. So I've said it before, and I'll say it one more time just for the record, right, guys? But knowledge is not power. That's one of the most misquoted statements in really our history. Knowledge is not power. Only applied knowledge is power. So you must start doing what you're reading right now. You must start doing what it is that you're hearing on this call right away in order for you to be able to maximize your potential and for you to get better on an ongoing basis, okay? Part of reading more, go get a library card. If you don't spend enough time at the library, go to the library more. And then again, already at the library, but when they get to the library, they don't do anything at the library except play on their phones or play on the computer. A library is one of our greatest treasures, right? It's full of just wondrous things that will take our attention and, again, most importantly, help us learn more to become better. So go get a library card. And if you have one, use it. And if you already go to the library, try going to a new section of the library to get some different types of books. Or in the case, I like recommending to one of our kids, right, read biographies of people that you admire. So right now, one of our sons, he's reading a big old thick biography of the world's greatest basketball player. That was Michael Jordan. The book is like the size of a dictionary. But he's reading through it right now because Michael Jordan is the best, not only is he the best basketball player, he happens to be one of the world's most successful business people, athlete turned businessman. So now he's reading this big, large biography, this big book about Michael Jordan, so he can pick up some things to make himself more successful. I was so proud of him when he grabbed that book, okay? So that's number one. Read more than you currently are and then read some different things, okay? Number two, and this applies to everyone, no matter how old you are, how young you are, it doesn't matter. But number two is exercise more. Exercise more. I know it sounds real crazy, right? But I just laid out for you guys. There's 168 hours in every single week. If on average, which I know most people don't get 7 hours of sleep, if you were getting 7 hours of sleep every week, that would be about 50 hours. The average person works 40 hours or goes to school for 40 hours. So right now we're only up to 90 hours out of 168 hours. Okay, so that means there's 78 hours left after sleep and work and school. Okay, so 78 hours left is free time. Let's say you spend some time commuting. Take off another 10 hours. You got 68 hours left now. We're only up to 100 hours now, guys. That's almost 70 hours that's left still for you to either read something or for you to learn something or, again, most importantly, for you to exercise your body as well as your mind. So notice we started off with the two most important components, exercising your mind, then exercising your body. It's impossible to have true wealth, guys, if your body is not healthy and if you don't take care of your health. Because there's many, many rich people who would give billions of dollars for them to be able to have a healthy heart or for them to be able to walk again, right? And then many of us, we take some of that stuff for granted. So don't take it for granted, right? And take care of your body. Take care of your body and exercise more, even if it's for 30 minutes every day or for an hour a week. I just laid it out, guys. You still got 50, 60 hours left to play and do some other things, okay? Number three, guys, again, we're talking 5 things that you can do more for yourself to show how much you value and love yourself. So number 3, mind the way that you speak to yourself. Mind the way that you speak to yourself. So one of the things that we always talk about also is the 3 A's of attitude, okay? And we're going to cover that in a call in detail. But one of the A's of attitude is affirmations. And those are also, right, that's another word for positive self-talk. Positive self-talk. But unfortunately, many people, almost everybody that you know, including me sometimes, and probably your parents or your siblings, everybody is an expert at negative affirmations. AKA, we tell ourselves what we can't do. We tell ourselves how bad we look. We tell ourselves how dumb we are. We tell ourselves how bad we are at certain things. That is the last thing that you ever want to do to yourself, is to speak negatively to yourself. And for that matter, speak negatively about anybody else as well, especially out loud, because we are the first person that hears our own words. So I want you guys to keep that in mind, right? But again, mind the way you speak to yourself, AKA, be a friend to yourself. One question that I ask everyone is, if someone else spoke to you the way you speak to you, would you consider them a friend or an enemy? And I want you guys to think about that. I'll ask it one more time. If someone else said some of the things that you say to yourself, would you consider that person a friend or a foe or an enemy? Okay? Because some of us, we say some really, really bad things to ourselves. Again, just about how good we're, how bad we are at certain things, etc. And I really want to help all of us break that habit. So here's a couple suggestions, okay? The first thing, and I want you guys to keep in mind, the first way to break a habit is to become aware that we have a bad habit. That's number one. So the habit's not just going to fix itself, okay? But the first thing I want you guys to keep in mind is that, number one, be aware of how often you say negative things to yourself. Oh, I'm about to take a test. Oh, I know I'm going to fail. Or I'm about to do this. Oh, I know my day is going to be bad. Stop saying those things to yourself and immediately become aware of it. Then number two, train yourself to say the opposite. Don't just stop. Don't just stop the negative thought, but train yourself to get in the habit of saying the opposite. So here's an example. As soon as I'm listening to this now, right? So my mind's a little bit open, okay? So as soon as I catch myself saying something like, man, I'm terrible with names. I heard somebody say that today. Oh, I'm terrible with names. I never remember names. You got to pump the brakes, like, you got to pump the brakes and then immediately flip the opposite. Oh, I'm great with names. I remember everybody's name who I meet. Oh, man, I'm going to do bad in this test today. Oh, you got to catch yourself. Oh, I know I aced that test. I know I'm going to pass this test. I know I'm going to knock this test out. Immediately, you have to flip and say the opposite. Don't just stop, because many times we try to break a bad habit, but we won't replace it with a good habit. So then what happens? The bad habit comes right back up again. So we have to train ourselves to do the opposite of that negative thought, which is the positive thought, okay? We'll replace a bad habit. You have to replace it with a good habit, okay? Number 4, guys, number 4. Write down what you're good at and then do more of it. Write down or think about what you like to do and also what you're good at it, and then figure a way to do more of that thing. And I'm going to give you guys an example here in a little bit, okay? But this is an important concept. It's also coincidentally, and again, this is going to be a topic for a later call as well, but doing what I'm suggesting here for this 4th tip of writing down what you're really good at and then doing as much of it as you can, that's actually one of the number 1 ways to build confidence in all areas of your life. Because the more we do something, the better we feel about ourselves. And then the more that we're able to help someone else with that special skill or talent. So, for example, if you discover you're really, really good at singing, then number 1, you want to enter into some talent shows. You want to enter into singing class, or you want to join a chorus. So that way you can show off that beautiful voice, that wonderful voice, right? If you find out or you discover that you're really, really good at math or science or reading, etc., then you want to figure a way for you to become a tutor, so that way you can help more people with what it is that you're naturally good at. If you're one of our older listeners, then find some younger people to tutor in that particular subject or whatever it is that you're really good at. But find a way to do more of what you're good at. That's also what we call service, which, if you guys recall, a couple calls back, we talked about things for you to do more of, which were directly linked to leadership. And one of them was what? Serve more. Provide more service to others. So number 4 is directly related to that, okay? Number 5, guys, and this is one of my favorites. Okay? And through things like what I'm getting ready to mention, is how we'll change the world, starting in calls just like this and having conversations just like this, okay, guys? But number 5 is this. Do more random acts of kindness. Do more random acts of kindness, okay? We'll also cover this in a future call, I promise, right, about characteristics of leaders, right? Characteristics or personality traits of leaders. One of those personality traits, guys, is being proactive, taking initiative, doing things without having to be asked to do them, right? So random acts of kindness also falls under that category. Doing something before someone has a chance to ask you for it. So if you see that someone needs help, just go and help them. Don't ask for it. That also is considered a random act of kindness, because that person didn't expect that you were going to help them. And then now, as a result, you just built some goodwill. You just made somebody's day, and hopefully they'll do what? Hopefully they'll pay it forward, what's called pay it forward, right? They'll go and then do another random act of kindness to somebody else, which in turn, hopefully that person will go and do a random act of kindness for somebody else, and then we start an avalanche. That's how you start a cycle of everybody doing more than what they're asked to do, helping more people, putting a smile on somebody's face, right? That's how we change the world. So again, more random acts of kindness, which again, what does a random act of kindness do? After you help that person, they usually have what in their face? They usually have a smile on their face. So you just made that person's day, and then what happens to us internally when someone smiles at us or someone thanks us? We feel better about ourselves. Then our self-worth goes up. Do we see how this is all a cycle, guys? So you can even draw a circle and then plot out these 5 things, and I guarantee you these 5 things will make you become, again, more belief in yourself will be built. You'll feel better about yourself, right? Because that's what this call is all about, building self-worth. How much do you value you? Okay, how much do you believe in you? But it starts, guys, with the little things that we do every single day. Okay, so let's recap those 5 things really quickly, okay? And again, these are 5 things that you can do more to value you, right? Like they say, you guys remember that American Express commercial, right? They go all the different things. They go all the different places, buy all the different stuff, and then at the end of each example, they say what? Priceless. Priceless. That's what the value is for you. It's priceless. When you feel good about yourself, that's priceless. Everything else is just so much easier, okay? So number 1, guys, those 5 things, we're going to run them back really quickly, okay? Number 1, read more. Read different books, visit a different section of the library, but spend some of that 168 hours every week reading and reading some different things. Like we said, science proves that only 2 ways for you to change your mindset and change your future. That is spending time with different people or reading different books. Only 2 ways. Number 2, exercise. Get your body into shape. We can all, and again, it's going to be a lot easier as soon as it gets nice outside. Here comes spring. But spend some more time outside, right? Exercising, right? Working your body. It's a machine, right? Our body's a machine. So, I didn't talk about eating healthy. That's another conversation. But I'd also throw that under there as well, under number 2. But treat your body better. Can't be all sugar, can't be all salt, can't be all vegetables either, right? I mean, I'm realistic. Let's have some fun as well, right? I love cheesecake like the next person, okay? But also try to balance it out and have a salad every once in a while, too. You guys know what I'm saying? Can't eat burgers all the time. Can't eat fast food all the time. That's hand in hand with exercising, okay? Number 3, mind the way you speak to yourself, okay? Speak to yourself like a friend. Speak to you like you love yourself, okay? That's number 3. Number 4, write down what you're good at and then do more of it. Write down what you're good at and then do more of it, okay? That's also another way to build confidence as well, okay? Number 5, perform more random acts of kindness, okay? Perform more random acts of kindness. That's how we change the world, guys, is by doing more things that we aren't asked to do, that maybe no one thought that we would do. But that's how we do it, guys. We change the world through random acts of kindness, okay? The moral of all this is that I want you guys to learn to become your own loudest cheerleader and not just your biggest critic. It's okay to criticize yourself, but you also need to learn to pat yourself on the back every once in a while and recognize all the good things that you do on a day-to-day basis, okay? One thing I want to leave you with, guys, and I'll take some questions and some comments, is that if there's any particular topics that you guys want to hear, let me know now after we wrap up. Let me know now, or send me a message throughout the week. Send me a text, send me an email. You can email me through the website, tweet me, or send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, etc., and then we'd love to cover them, okay? But that's the topics for tonight, guys, so please let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns. *6 if you have a question or a comment. *6 if anybody wants to say anything, maybe even about the last couple of weeks, if you've been on another call, how you were able to use some of the information that you got from one of the other calls. I'd love to hear it. *6.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
This
we can
is
hear
Todd Jones from Baltimore. Okay.
What's going on, Tariq?
So one of the things I was curious about was, excuse me, my daughter just wilding out in the background. That's her season. As far as, like, you know, people being introverted and extroverted, one of the things, like, I can say myself, I'm kind of like teeter on the line. In some situations, I might be extroverted. The other times, I may be introverted. But in dealing with people and being your biggest cheerleader, is there a situation or people that you know of have been successful in attaining their goals, if they so choose to be introverts, if they were introverts within themselves?
That's a great question, Tariq. That's a great question. I think, in my opinion, you know, being your own cheerleader doesn't really have, it won't really affect you one way or the other if you're an introvert or an extrovert. I think that extroverts just have a habit of being really, really loud and cheering on themselves in front of everyone, as opposed to if you're quiet by nature, you'll just cheer a little bit more quiet. But the most important thing is to cheer on yourself. So whether it's really, really loudly, that might be more obnoxious, that might be more annoying, but the most important thing is to cheer yourself on. To me, you know, if that makes sense.
Precisely. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes.
This is Jalen. I was just saying, like these really help me. Like, some of the stuff that we use here, I use in, like, every day. And, like, I've already started exercising. Like, I go to the gym, like, every day. So
Good.
I'm already using some of this stuff. And it's kind of, like, helping me.
Good, man. Good. And like we said, every single day is practice. It's like we always talk about, right? It's practice. Every single day we have an opportunity to try something new. And if it doesn't work, try something else. But never stop practicing for the next big moment.
Okay.
I'm going to read this quote one more. I'm going to read one of these quotes one more time, too, for us, okay? And remember this, guys. You can never be lonely if you like the person that you're with. That really, really spoke to me when I saw that quote, because so many times we just aren't that comfortable being alone with ourselves for a number of reasons. So, you know, and that's also part of journaling as well, getting some of those thoughts out in the open. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions or comments? Again, feel free to text me at 443-271-3604.
I just had to get that out. Like,
and I appreciate you sharing it.
These calls are really, like, helping me. And so is group. But, like I'm saying, like, these calls help me, like, with my attitude and other stuff.
Good, man. I'm glad. I'm really glad to hear that. All right, guys. Anybody else? Anybody got any other questions or comments or topic suggestions for the next couple of calls?
Hello, this is Agape.
Agape, what's going on, my brother?
Hey, how's it going? Question. Well, it's not really a question. It's just a statement that I was thinking about. It's kind of piggyback off of what you're saying. I was just sitting here thinking, never be afraid of challenging yourself and your body and your mind. Always be willing to take the efforts to challenge yourself, regardless of if you're struggling with something. Just go ahead and try to push yourself even further, because at the end of the day, you have to be accountable for yourself.
So true. So true.
So what are you prepared to do in order to get to the next level?
We cannot make any excuses for ourselves. It's so true, my brother. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
No excuses, guys. No excuses. We have to be, like you just said, we have to be accountable for what we want to get out of life. And no one's going to give us anything. So we have to improve ourselves on a day-to-day basis. I love it.
Right. Also, to motivate yourself. Motivation. I motivate all the time. So I'm very familiar with it. And, even if it's motivating someone else, getting them to the next level, pulling them up, bringing them to the next level. Even if they're a level above you, maybe, it's like having a hand and you're grabbing and you're reaching. Motivating each other is really the key to also having success.
So true. So nobody did it alone. That's one of the things I love talking about as well, the fact that nobody did it. Everybody had help. Everybody who's a success had help. And that's one of the things that sometimes the successful people forget. As soon as we get a little bit, then we forget that it was somebody who pushed us up or who pulled us up on our way to the top. So again, great point. Great point. All right, guys. So if there's no other questions or comments, we'll go ahead and end it here, guys. And I really, really hope that you guys have a great week, and I look forward to speaking with everybody next week.
Okay.
Have a great night, guys.
All right.